Let me tell y'all something silly that I heard recently. And this is silly because of data, because of numbers. This is Realtor for Louisiana, Jessica Bordelon, and this is a message for investors. So I had an agent tell me today that one of his investors is going to wait until the interest rates go down a little bit more. Now, number one, interest rates already have moderated and they are at a very healthy, normal interest rate environment right now, which means it is a good time to buy. But nevertheless, he said his investor said this. And here's why this doesn't make sense. So we're going to go ahead and do a mortgage scenario with the current interest rates and do a mortgage scenario with the interest rate if, it were to go down, which predictions are saying it's not likely to go down. So I entered in here the purchase price, entered in here the down payment, and then I'm going to do an adjustment to the insurance and the taxes to reflect reality, because I want this to be very accurate as possible. And there's always variability. Someone else may not be able to get the same insurance cost because their credit score does impact your insurance rate, right? So here's the scenario. And under the scenario, buying this property would cost $1,607 per month, right? Okay, boom. So that's your mortgage. Now, let's look at what the profit is after the mortgage is paid. Now, this is a mortgage with insurance and taxes already rolled in. So these are the expenses, right? So let's look at the rental scenario and what the profit would be. So this particular property earns $3,000 a month, which times 12 means you make $36,000 a year. So now we're going to take out the payments for the mortgage per year. I actually put 1671. I was supposed to put 1607. Nevertheless, 36,000 minus that 20K you're putting in mortgage every year gives you 15,948. So that's $16,000 right there. Profit currently as is. So this investor not buying now means he's losing out on 16K in income he could generate this year. All right, so let's run a scenario with saying a slightly lower interest rate, because once again, they're not predicting it to drop, but I'll give them a 5.5. Let's say that they magically got a 5.5. Okay, so what's the difference in the mortgage? Now, I forgot to adjust the insurance and tax, so it looked like it was like 14 something. So I went back up and made the tax and insurance match the first scenario because I wanted to be as accurate as possible once again. And the mortgage payment became, where is it at? Come on, zoom in. 1548, right? So you're looking at like about $50 cheaper per month, right? So let's go ahead and compare. Let's look at what we got in terms of profit. $1,452 per month profit times 12, you got $17,424, right? So about $1,400 extra per year. Now I'm gonna go ahead and round it to 15K comparing to 17K and say you might make 2,000 more if the interest rate were a little bit lower. But here's the thing. This person is not getting $15,000 in profit or $16,000 in profit, right? So you're losing that completely. So the important moral of the story is that interest rate should not be what's making your decisions in real estate. Whether you're buying home or investment, it should not be. You need to look at the numbers. You need to figure it out. Like, what is the gain for me? Let's talk about it. And what does it cost you to wait? Because this person is going to lose out on earning $16,000 this year in rental income on a fully occupied property, all for a maybe lower interest rate, because predictions are saying no to the lower interest rate. Also, another thing, when the interest rate does finally drop, he can refinance. Losing out on $16,000 of income, profit, it's just not worth waiting for a possible, maybe, might be lower interest rate. So what do y'all think? Drop a comment below if you're ready to actually have this conversation and figure out what is the gain, what is the cost associated with making a move now versus waiting, so that way you can make an informed choice. Because sometimes waiting is a good idea, and sometimes it's not. Make sure you're making informed decisions. Peace.